What's up, everybody? Sorry for the slight delay. Had to get my celebratory cafecito. Let's see. Philly Cane's in the house. What's going on, Philly Cane? Pyborn. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But let's let the chat fill up here. But as you saw in the title, I love when news breaks right before my live stream. I love it. It's great timing. But anyway, Brother Jay Blaze, what's up? Goldwire. For those who maybe have not been on social media or haven't been paying attention for the past, I don't know, hour and a half or so. No, not even. Maybe like in the last, probably hour and a half. If you haven't been paying attention, you just hopped on YouTube right now, just hopped on my channel, which, by the way, I appreciate it. Please hit the like button and subscribe. We, give you a little hint there, we finally, according to multiple sources, and according to Bruce Feldman, who, pretty much, if that guy reports it, you can pretty much take it as fact, that Kevin Steele, longtime SEC defensive coordinator, Auburn defensive coordinator, LSU defensive coordinator on some great teams and some dominant defenses, will be hired as the new Miami Hurricanes defensive coordinator. And you know what? I am very satisfied. I'm pleasantly surprised and very satisfied with this hire. Number one, I am satisfied because it is, it wasn't a name I expected. And I don't think it was a name that most people expected. I think a lot of people are pleasantly surprised. This was a hell of a chess move by Mario. And no one locally, it seemed like locally, no one saw this coming. So I hope it sways big names tomorrow. Like, maybe it gets us an extra guy. Like maybe it sways Shamar back over to us, which if you haven't seen, all the crystal ball predictions came in on 247, pretty much all saying A&M. And it was like 7 or 8 guys all at the same time. When they're all flooding in like that, that's usually a good indication of where the guy's going, because those writers want to get their stats and success rate up. And if they know something right at the last minute, they're going to pump in those crystal balls. So Shamar at the moment, not looking good, but hey, maybe this hire sways him in our direction. Yes, Kevin Steele with Ed Reed as DB coach with DVD. Ooh, wouldn't hate that combo. We'll go a little deeper into Kevin Steele, but I really, really like the hire. Was it the number one name on my wish list? Maybe not number one. Doug Belk, I think, would have been number one. That's the guy I would have really, really been most excited about. But this dude, Kevin Steele, he's right up there. He's been in the game a long time. This is a guy that you're going to consistently get a top 15, top 20 defense out of every single year in and year out. Great recruiter, can develop talent, and is a guy that is never going to be flat out just out-coached in the game, just out-schemed and just, embarrassed by the other coach. You're never going to see that from him. He's always going to be prepared. Latin American coach we need from Georgia. John, how's it? My day's going well, man. Let's see what else we got here. John, tell the truth. Flo did not predict this, or did he? You never know, man. Flo finds things out, man. I don't know. I don't know if he knew maybe right before, or I don't know. I actually haven't had a chance to talk to him today, so Flo knows. You never know, man. The guy's he downplays it, but he's got connections. What's up, John? Probably got a good DC hire. Yes, sir. This is a solid hire. I'm very, very pleased. Let's see. No one has said this name. No, you're right. Moten has turned to Miami in the last 2 hours. Yeah, I did notice that, and I saw some crystal ball predictions heading in his direction. So, if we don't get Shamar, which, it's not over till it's over. Well, let's wait to see what he announces tomorrow. But if we don't get him, landing Moten would be very important because we got to keep building those trenches. Georgia linebacker coach. It is a solid hire. Can't go wrong with this hire. Yeah, I agree. 2017 defensive coordinator of the year. That doesn't surprise me one bit. His 4 years with Auburn, I think they were ranked. Their defense was ranked 11, 14, 17, and like 31 in his final year. So always just, very solid, very consistent. And you give him that South Florida talent. You give him guys like Wes, Leonard Taylor, Nigel Lee Kelly, Cyrus Moss, James Williams, Avante Williams. God, we got some talent. Tyrese Stevenson. You give him that elite speed and athleticism, he's gonna know what to do with it. He's not gonna be lost. Alex, what's good, man? It's simple. You either go with us or against us. If they want to be here and play at the U, then cool. If not, I forget your name real fast. One day we will have a top 5 defense. I mean, we had the number 4 defense back in 2018, and that was pretty fun. The only problem was we couldn't score. Hydration. Let's see. Pyburn. Yes. I'll talk about Pyburn really quick. So yeah, Jack Pyburn was a guy that became a fan favorite really quick. He was on the Miami Flow channel a couple of times with Rasta and David Franklin. And I really liked him. I would have loved to have seen Jack Pyburn wear the orange and green because he's the type of player that exudes that Mario Cristobal style of play, that that physicality, that toughness, mainly that toughness, especially in the trenches that we've been missing for close to 20 years now. We got swag up and down, but it's like, but you're missing the toughness. You're missing guys that can grind, that can, not afraid to get their hands dirty. Jack Pyburn's one of those guys. And, unfortunately we missed on him. It wasn't for lack of trying, though. That dude, as soon as Cristobal was hired, he put the full court press on him. He wanted him. You can tell. And Pyburn really liked his visits to Miami. But when your childhood dream, your dream school comes knocking, even if it's at the 11th hour, which is what happened in this case, the Florida Gators came knocking. And remember, this kid is from Jacksonville. That's the team up there. You're from Jacksonville. You grew up watching college football. Probably the Florida Gators are your team. And his childhood dream came true. So I am very, very happy for Jack. Played us for that Florida offer. No, not every time one of these guys, because you got to remember, they're 17, 18-year-old kids at the oldest. And you got to remember, they got a tough decision to make. And you can't just assume anytime a guy just swerves last minute that he was playing us the whole time. It's not always that calculated. It usually isn't, actually. Remember, these guys are very, very young men. They're going to be making, for right now, the most important decision of their life so far. And like Auburn, like Miami, obviously Florida's his dream school. So he had a tough choice to make. Your dream school comes knocking. If I was a kid that grew up a Cane fan, but schools like, I don't know, UCF and Louisiana Tech and Washington or whatever were recruiting me, but all of a sudden, last minute, I get that call and it's Miami. Guess what? Everything changes. So I get it. His parents was in his ear. Maybe. Miami's hat wasn't bent either. Yeah. I think it's Chris and Bill from Kane's Legacy. They have a theory which may be true, that when you see the hats laid out, the one that has the biggest curve in it, meaning probably the one that he's already tried on and has been wearing, to see if it fits and stuff, that's the school he's going to. The ones that are flat or barely have a bend to it, probably not going there. I've kept an eye on that the last couple of years since they told us about that, and it's been pretty dead on. So let's see. Pyburn will transfer into, well, we'll see. I never like to predict, especially in the portal nowadays. I mean, yeah, you never know. You never know who transfers when. Pyburn is not the type of kid he's down to earth and humble. Yes, agreed. Agreed, Cutler Ridge. So yeah, I think that's what happened ultimately. His dream school came calling at the last minute, and he couldn't. He would have regretted it if he didn't at least hear them out. Let's see. I will take R. Mason Thomas over Piper. R. Mason Thomas is a nice get, and another guy that we could pick up tomorrow. Who was the? I think it was Connerly who says he's going to wait till announce in March. Yeah, I think that's who's waiting to announce. Which that's very good. That's very good for us. Let's see. Who else we got? All right. So, anyways, Kevin Steele again. It's this is a huge hire that I'm very happy about. Please let me know in the comments if you guys, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you guys pleased with it? Are you happy with the hire? Would you have preferred somebody else? Is there anything about Kevin Steele you don't like? I'm finding it hard to think of things we might not like about Steele. I don't know. It's pretty hard to think of it, actually. Alex, wasn't James Williams and Leonard Taylor Cristobal to other schools? They were. So Avante Williams, I mean, I don't know if the rumor's true that he basically changed his mind at the podium. You always hear those stories after the fact. You don't know if they're true. No one's inside their head. But yeah, Avante Williams was all Gators. Like, they brought a Gator cake to celebrate, and he shocks the recruiting world on signing day 2020 and flips to Miami, which we're still happy about to this day because that dude's going to be a beast here. But yeah, I think they were at one time Cristobal to other schools. I don't know how heavily, they were predicted to go elsewhere. I know Leonard Taylor, we were like neck and neck with Florida pretty much. Williams, I think that was, if I remember correctly, was a pretty big surprise that he went with us. But I will say 2020 and on, these crystal balls had it. You can look at the success rate for these writers. They're 75% and up usually. So, and when they come in last minute, all going towards one school, it's a pretty good indication. Someone knows something and they're trying to get their numbers up. Maybe we're wrong in this case. Who knows? So, even if signing day does not go our way tomorrow, I'm very pleased with this hire. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm already excited about the class the way it is. You got 3 elite studs: Jaleel, Cyrus Moss, and Nigel Leak. 3 guys that in the past maybe we would have gotten 1 out of 3. In this case, let's say, the previous regime is still here. We don't get any of the 3. Most likely we don't get any of them. But yeah, Supreme Goon, love the Steele hire. Firefighter Kane, he's very experienced. He's not an experimental or inexperienced. I'm very happy with this solid hire. He's coached in the SEC for years. He's an immediate upgrade. Agreed with everything you said. I would love Chud for OC. So would I, but it looks like all indications point to him staying in Boston College. But then again, college football has basically become the Wild West, and nothing would surprise me anymore. We need another 5-star DT to play next to LT. Woo. Yeah, I would love that. Maybe Shamar ends up being that guy. Let's see. Hey, let's not forget about Wesley Besaint, defensive leader. Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. I said it. It's Kevin Steele is inheriting some serious talent right now. And this isn't like, these guys might. No. Guys that are on the team that have signed, some of them are taking classes already. Nigel Leak, Cyrus, Wes, who else? LT, Avante, Tyreek Stevenson, James Williams. I mean, he's getting the cupboard. The cupboard is not bare. The cupboard is very full, actually. I would love to see what he does with his defense over the next couple of years. Dorsey leaves the Bills. Could happen. Dorsey's a top target. Still is. Let's see, while I hydrate. Yes, I buy houses. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Appreciate it, Moss. Yes, I believe I mentioned Moss. John, what are your sources saying about the defensive back coach? I'm not asking for who your sources are. Man, that one's a tough one. I'm hearing, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm hearing the Ed Reed name thrown around a lot. I know Doug Belk was, when he was one of the leading names for the DC spot, that was, his specialty is DBs. So that's kind of where I thought they were going. So I don't know. I'd have to now. I mean, this kind of changes things a little bit, so I'd have to get back to you on that one. Let's see, Buffalo's too cold. Yeah. If our defense improves 50% from last year, it is a win for us. Absolutely. With who we have on offense, with all that talent, quarterback, come on. We just need a defense that'll consistently slow down other teams. Now this defense is going to stop teams consistently and slow down the high-powered offenses. In fact, I'm sure I don't know who's seen this article floating around, but this is from 2019 when Auburn played LSU in 2019, meaning the Joe Burrow LSU Tigers, one of the greatest offenses we've ever seen in college football. Kevin Steele employed basically a 3-1-7 style defense with 3 linemen, 1 linebacker, and basically the rest was just DBs on the field. And pretty much neutralized that high-powered offense, held them to 23 points. So that's just one example of how adaptable he is. That's another thing I like about Steele. He's not stubborn. He's not going to stick to, not to disparage Randy Shannon so many years after he was here, but when Randy Shannon was here, there was a lot of stubbornness about running a 4-3. We've always run a 4-3. We're running a 4-3. So Kevin Steele, he mainly runs a 4-3, 4-2-5 base, but he's very adaptable. I love that. You forgot Chance Williams. I think he's going to have a breakout sophomore year. Your mouth to God's ears. I really hope so. I'm a Chance Williams fan. I think he's absolutely very talented. And I think he could have a big year if given the chance, but we'll see. There's guys right behind him now. So that's going to light a fire under his butt. As much as people dog Manny, he is responsible for the talent that is on this team. Respect. Yeah, I mean, anybody that was recruited before Wesley Basaint, because that was the week Manny got fired. Anybody Wesley Basaint and before, yeah, you do have to give Manny's staff. We'll say that. Manny Diaz's staff, we will, as a whole, we will give credit for landing the James Williamses of the world. Because those are, I mean, you see what it's like when you get a real 5-star recruit. They step on the field as a freshman and they start making plays right away. It's not like back in the day where it was a toss-up. Nowadays, you get the number 1 guy at that position, he's probably going to start making plays pretty quickly. Ed Reed for DB coach. The general. Steele is a gangster hire, beyond monster. It's epic and more to come. That's the thing I'm probably most excited about, Howie. What is next? Because you got the DC now. It's like, oh, what does he have planned for OC? Because this is that was, again, it caught everybody off guard. I don't think anybody saw Kevin Steele's name coming. And it's a home run. It's an absolute home run hire. But are you hearing anything with Strong being linebacker coach? I've been hearing Strong's name bounced around. Another guy I would love here, veteran, has been around the game a long time, knows linebackers, obviously. Co-DC. I don't know how he and Kevin Steele would mesh together necessarily, but as a linebacker coach, would Charlie Strong want to come to just be a linebacker coach? That's the question. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about a former head coach coaching a position. Yeah, I'm all for it. Michigan head coach is leaving. Let's steal their recruits. Oh, I feel for Michigan fans right now because it's about to be a free-for-all for that roster. It's about to be what happened to Oklahoma pretty much. But, that all depends who Michigan signs. I hope it's someone good, and I hope it's someone who can beat Ohio State consistently. Carl Scott as DB's coach. Okay. Do you think a guy like Doug Voch would be willing to come to Miami to be the DB coach? I understand he's DC at a group of 5 school right now. DC at a group of 5 school to becoming a position coach at a Power 5 school. That's an upgrade in my opinion. Unless you're at a group of 5 school that's just winning, like just dominating, like going undefeated every year. Let's go. When Javi's typing in all caps, that means he's excited. What's your opinion on the new DC we hired? I love it. I love it, Michael. Was it the number 1 name on my list? No, that was Doug Belk. But man, this is, as far as quality, he's right up there and more experience. The only thing I would say is, that's just coaching. Assistants come and go. Is he going to be here longer than 2-3 years? Probably not. If he does a great job for 2 seasons, he's probably getting poached and going to Alabama or something. Or he's going to retire because he's 63 years old. So, by then he'll be 65, 66. Would he want to continue coaching? Who knows? Trevante Citizen crystal ball to Florida. Interesting. I think we were 3rd with Pyburn. Let's see. Bring Torian Gray. Ooh, okay. I like that name. Dante Evans says, when talent is high, coaching just needs to be competent. Let's not get caught up in elite coaches. Get the players and get the strength staff. I think they're both equally important, Dante. Obviously, it all starts with recruiting. You got to recruit on an elite level to hang with the elite teams, and I think we are starting to do that. Let's see. Oh, a couple donos. Let me get to those in a second. Hang on. John, do you think a guy like... Yeah, I figured you meant Belk. Like I said, Power 5, DB coach at a Power 5 level. I think it would be an upgrade, honestly, if this team is going where I think they're going. I wanted Belk for DC, but Steele ain't no bum. No, he ain't no bum at all. Yeah, no, Belk was my number 1 choice as well. Would he come here to be a position coach? Him specifically, I don't think so, to answer your question, Anthony. Not just to be that. It would have to be like a co-DC situation. Once we get the offensive line together, it's a wrap. Agreed. I've been saying that for many years. Any news on wide receiver coach? Not at the moment. No, nothing new. Norman, thank you very much for the donation. Hi, John and Kane fam. Do you think Elijah Roberts blossoms with Steele's defense? I think anything's possible in Steele's defense with the guys we have. And that was a guy I forgot to mention, Elijah Roberts. I don't know what I think last time I checked, he's weighing like close to 270 right now. So he's kind of a tweener. He's athletic enough, even at his size, to play some D-end in certain situations. So, and Mario, I know, likes guys that can cross-train, that can play, more than one position. So, yeah, anybody can blossom in that defense. But, man, I don't know what he would play, mainly D-tack or probably D-end. He probably shed a little bit of weight just to get a little quicker and play some D-end. Dorsey's OC for the Bills, so he's gone. Dude, man never had any bad losses. I'm not touching that one. Really good O-lineman coming tomorrow. Yeah, look, even if we don't get Iuli, you got Logan Sagapolo already. He's on the boat. He's in. You got possibly Inez Cooper. You still got possibly Dave Iuli. I know a couple crystal balls have him going elsewhere, but he's still out there. You never know. He's a top 10 interior lineman in the country. He's absolutely elite. And then you got, who was the other offensive lineman? Inez Cooper, and who was the other guy? Hold on. I had it in my notes from Sunday. Inez Cooper. Oh, maybe it was Tyler Steen I was thinking of. Well, that's a portal guy. Anyway. Yeah, you got a couple possible studs we can get in the trenches. Terry, thank you very much for the donation. I wanted Belk, but I'm happy with this hire. Agreed. That's exactly what I feel. Belk was my number one, but I'm very happy with who we got. I get the hire, but Auburn's defense was okay in the SEC. Auburn's defense was more than okay. It was ranked top 15 for like 3 straight seasons, in the middle of Bama and LSU's like dominance. Let's see. They got a good wide receiver coach, right? You talking about the Canes? Well, they don't have a wide receiver coach hired yet, but I'm assuming it's gonna be a good hire. So far, Mario's hires, I'm not unhappy with any of them. Let's see. I have to 908. I cannot find your comment from before. Go ahead and post it again for me, and I'll go to it. People are forgetting Charlie Strong has a 1-year show clause from the NCAA. He would have to sit out a year. Okay, I'm not too familiar with that. I'll have to look into that. Exactly, running game makes you tough. Yeah, dude, this offense was with a consistent running game. Forget it. It's a wrap. It's 12-0, and we'll talk about the schedule in a minute because I know that came out. Bring in Ted Lasso. I heard that show is really good, actually. Jack's Miami hat was still fresh, like he ain't never tried it on. Yeah, I noticed that too. It looked like he just bought it at the store and put it there. We is winning. Let's go. Alabama only beat Auburn this year by 2 points. Yes, sir. Well, Kevin, if you're talking about Kevin Steele, he was not. I don't think he was at Auburn this year. Thomas and Moten, what's the chances for both? Let's see. Bama, UGA scared of losing recruits, targeted attacks on our staff. 100%. Joshua, I absolutely agree with you there. We talked about it a little bit on Flow Show. I wouldn't go as far as saying they're scared of Miami because we haven't proved it on the field yet. However, they just realized that plucking the top guys out of South Florida, which are the best players in the country, is going to get a lot harder with Mario Cristobal at the helm. He's not going down without a fight. He's going to keep some of those guys at home. Saban knows that. Kirby Smart knows that. Name another, Ryan Day, all these other elite coaches at elite programs. They just realized, I can't just go in and pluck Joey Bosa that easily anymore. I can't just go in and pluck Calvin Ridley or, whatever stud is coming out of IMG these days. It's not going to be that easy, and they know that. So, yes, I think these are targeted attacks. They're great coaches that they plucked away, but also you're taking away from Miami, so you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. John, any updates on? Yeah, no updates at the moment on who's expected to be the wide receiver coach. I have a couple names in mind that I wouldn't mind seeing. A couple former Canes, Kevin Beard, Leonard Hankerson. Neither name I would mind as our wide receiver coach. I know Lamar Thomas has been thrown out there. Wouldn't hate that either. Maybe Steele wants to bring in some coaches. Absolutely. That could be something that happens. Let's see. We need to get a 325 D tackle. If we're going to run some 3-4 here and there and some multiple looks, yeah, we need a legit nose tackle. You think, oh, Inez Cooper? That's what I keep hearing. Inez Cooper's a recruit that he's a 3-star lineman right now, but he's 6'6", 355, and was 410 pounds. Lost a bunch of weight, which tells me that guy's a fighter. Matthew McCoy, that's the other guy I was thinking of. Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't Tyler Steen. It was Matthew McCoy. Yeah, Matthew McCoy and Inez Cooper. Those are the two guys that we could land both, honestly. And then Connerly. That's another guy we could land. Let's see. I'm way behind. Sorry if I skip your comment. Auburn's D was way better than our defense has been lately. 100%. OC? All right. OC. This Kevin Steele's hire really threw me off because I was going to say, I still think it's Dorsey, but man, I'm trying to think of a name we haven't been saying. Who are you guys thinking right now? Who are you feeling as the OC? With Kevin Steele as DC, do we land Shamar? That's what I'm hoping sways Shamar in our favor. I'm hoping that it's kind of funny timing, isn't it? The day before signing day that we announced this. Isn't that a little weird in a good way? So, yeah, I think I don't think that was by accident. Let's just say that. Let's be honest. Auburn's defense was great against the bottom half of the SEC. Bama, when they played well, rivalry game. And the other top half of the SEC, they're ranked consistently top 15 defense. That's all I need to hear. Again, was he my number one guy? No. But you're getting a guy that's not going to just get completely undressed by the other coach and not going to get embarrassed. Our defense is going to be prepared for every game. Are we going to win every single game? Are they going to dominate and hold every team to under 7 points? No. That's just not how college football works anymore. Teams are going to score. But he is at the very least going to keep the other team in check and give you a chance to win. Scheduled Texas A&M and Clemson. Yep, we'll get to that in a second. Let me just catch up on the chat here because you guys are flying. What's good, Army Kane? Bama and Georgia know how great this class is coming up, really deep, and great wide receiver and the top CB in Florida. Absolutely. They're watching. John, I wanted to know if you saw Julian Lewis's film tape. Julian Lewis, no, I haven't seen that one yet. Didn't Coach Steele win Coach of the Year for 2017? Yeah, defensive coordinator of the year 2017. So I don't know, to say that, oh yeah, he does great against these teams, great against Bama, but these couple of teams, he's so-so. So what? Overall, is he good? Yes. Year in and year out, the guy is a very, 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 very good defensive coordinator. Let's see. Supreme Goon, Mickey Joseph, Craig, Curtis Johnson. Give me one of those for receivers, coach. Curtis Johnson. That's a name I would not hate at all. 3-4 multiple. John Connerly is signing in March. Yes, he is. And I think that's very good for us. Oh, here we go. The OCs. Frank Ponce for OC. I know that was one of the leading names for a while. By the way, 313 in the chat. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. Hit the like button and go subscribe. Frank Ponce for OC. Wouldn't hate it. He's like third on my list. Hey, swing for the fences. Cliff Kingsbury. Dan Mullen. Oh, that's a name that would shock me on – not shock. Nothing shocks me anymore in this game. That would surprise me on a Kevin Steele level if we went and got Dan Mullen. Because let me tell you, Dan Mullen, one hell of a play caller. Say what you want about him as a head coach. Maybe you don't like the guy, whatever. The dude knows X's and O's on offense. You're thinking Brady. I would say it's Brady. Well, Dorsey, I think, would be like second or third. Then Brady. And then Frank Ponce. actually, now that I think of it. Yeah, Frank Ponce is like number 5. I would put Tom Herman and Dan Mullen as like my number 1 and number 2. Those would be like my dream hires. Herman or Brady. Yeah, Herman or Brady. Brady interviewed with the Bears today. I think Shamar knew about this hire. He's coming, in my opinion, part of the master plan. Again, I said it earlier, your lips to God's ears. I hope that's the case. I hope this is all very calculated and, let's just see. Just got to wait another day and we'll know where Shamar's going. Shamar wants to be in a 4-3 if I'm not mistaken. I know he wants to play defensive end, whether that be in a 4-3 or 3-4 look. I'm not sure. But over the years, Kevin Steele has leaned more 4-3. So that helps us. Let's see who else. Gaddis for OC. Don't want Brady anyway. It makes sense McClendon going to Georgia with the new defensive coordinator probably wants to bring his own co-defensive coordinator in. Let's see, Jim Chaney. Shamar needed to know, and now he knows. I think Shamar had at least an inkling of who was getting hired. Because I don't think Kevin Steele just decided today. I think this was done. This was probably done in advance, I would imagine. Alex says, with Steele and the players we have now, where do you think our defense ends up in the rankings? I think the first year, it's for sure a top 20 defense, like 17 or 18. And I think by the time Moss and Nigel Leak and Wes and all these guys are sophomores and like preseason all ACC, all Americans, that second year, which would be 2023, our defense could easily be top 10. And if our defense is top 10 and our offense can continue what they're doing and continue scoring, because by then it'll probably be Jake Garcia under center, we're in really, really, really good shape. The ACC is the bottom of the SEC on a good day. We are good, brother, with multiple ACC championship appearances at minimum. Thank you. I agree. He's a big fish in a small pond now. I think Shamar knew about Steele before we all knew, in my opinion. Could be. Can we counter poaching by poaching ourselves, especially with all the money we have. Let's see. Ooh, Graham Harrell, another name that wasn't on my mind that would surprise me in a good way. You mean a glass of that Jim Beam in the background, John? Didn't notice I was there. If Andy Ludwig, I could see Andy Ludwig for OC. If Cyrus Moss knew, guaranteed Shamar knew. Ranked 14. Let's see. Man, you guys are flying. Norman, thank you. Thank you again for the very generous donation. Much appreciated. Alex says, Joe, so I think this is his dream staff. Joe Salovey at defensive line, DVD at corners, Reed at safety, Steele linebacker, and DC, and maybe Strong as co-DC title. Does that cover the entire defense? I think so. Yeah, I think that's good. Now, how do you think, Alex, I'll give you a counterpoint to that. How do you think Reed will do developing the safeties? Because, yes, we have a very talented safety room. Can Ed Reed develop talent? That's the question. Dorsey, OC between Bills and Giants right now. More money, more problems. Jasinski. Harold just accepted a position where? I'm not sure where he just accepted a position. Anyone in the chat now? Do you think T-Rob left because he was going to be DC or could he not work with Steele? Same with B-Mac and the new OC. No, I think T-Rob left because he had a chance to go coach at the best program in the country. Dorsey was announced to the Bills. That's official. Well, again, that doesn't mean anything anymore. He was announced, so guys can get poached. Joe got co-DC. Co-DC, I thought. I don't know if Joe's co-DC. That's a good question. Seems like we do this every few years with a new coach and expectations go through the roof and we get let down. So I will be happy with a team that is competitive and can show improvement. Mr. Kane, I think that at the very least, that's what we're going to get with Kevin Steele, a much improved defense. The floor is very, very high now. So that's one thing I'm excited about. The floor is very high. Could we be an elite defense? Sure. I'm not predicting it. Well, I predicted we'd be top 10 in a couple of years. But that's more because of the talent we already have. I think Kevin Steele at least brings us a solid, consistent defense. That's my, that was my prediction. Yeah, it's kind of high, but look who we got. Look who we got on our defense. We've got some serious talent. That's why my expectations are high. But yeah, I'm with you. As long as I see improvement, I'm good. Reed was always the smartest player on the field. Peyton Manning said that on ESPN about Ed Reed. If he can pass on that knowledge, then he's going to be good. Okay, you're right. Ed Reed is very, very intelligent. I totally agree with you. Let's see. Joe got associate head coach. That's what it was. What's up, Les? Let's see. How does this affect the kids in the portal? Ooh. In a positive way. Well, Steele has linebacker experience. Yes, he does. Yes, please. Thank you, Mark, for the reminder. Hit that like button. I'll be on for Les, you are late. Where you been? Well, Les has a family, guys. He's got his kids. He's probably having dinner with them, responsible human being. But yes, Les, welcome to the chat. Let us know what do you think of the. I know you gave me a comment on Instagram. I did catch it like right before I came on the show. But tell me, what do you think about the hire and why? You think there will be any surprise commits for National Signing Day? Surprises. I don't think it's a surprise, but I think we land one of Matthew McCoy and Inez Cooper, if not both. If that's the case, then that probably means we won't get Iuli. But if we get Iuli, then maybe we just get one of or none of Cooper and McCoy. But I don't know. It's only a handful of guys, so I'm not expecting any shockers. The only shocker would be if, like, all of a sudden Perkins or somebody like that unexpected surprise flips. That's the only one I can think of that would be a surprise, but I don't think that's – I don't know. I kind of doubt that one. John, what are your thoughts on maybe Mario hiring a quarterbacks coach from the NFL, like Mike Kafka or Shane Day from the Chargers as offensive coordinator? Anybody with NFL experience, I definitely, especially at that position, I'm all for it. Another guy for the offensive staff, by the way, that, James Coley, his name's been thrown around for a while now. That's another one. There's so many names still. I'm excited about what's to come because there's more coming very, very soon. John, do we land defensive tackle Christian Miller? My guess would be no. I don't think we land Christian Miller. Dorsey is official as OC to Bills. Okay. If Shamar goes to Jackson State, I feel sorry for him. I think, he'll be there. And he's going to be gone to a bigger school with the NFL. I don't think I agree with that, Mr. Kane. I think a lot of people think what you think, but I think Prime is I think he means what he's saying. I think he wants to build something at Jackson State. I don't think he's one and done. I think he's going to stick there for 3, 4, 5 years at least. And he'll eventually leave for a bigger job. I don't think he's going to spend his whole coaching career there, but I think he's going to stick around for a little while and try to build something. I really do. At least exposure for the HBCUs. New job in Gables. I live in Davie. Long drive home. Oh, you look, man. I live in Gables. I don't work here. I work downtown, but cool, man. Oh, so you're in my hood. How are you liking it so far? It's great, but if you live in Davie, that's a hell of a drive. Let's see, Giants interviews. But yeah, for those who don't live in South Florida, Gables to Davie, Les, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a good hour and 15-minute drive, maybe more. Ken Dorsey wants Giants. I take Coley solely based on his recruiting alone. James Coley, and I think we'll end with this, guys. James Coley is a beast of a recruiter, for those who don't know. Absolute beast of a recruiter. 45 on a weekend, maybe. Yeah, no trade. Yeah, I was going to say. Rush hour, that's hour and 20, easy. If Van Dyke has a good year, think he goes to the league? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Oh, Port Knox, thank you for reminding me. Where's my head at? Okay, we'll do the last few minutes on the schedule. Because, I mean, the Kevin Steele news just happened and that kind of overshadows things. But yesterday, the schedule was announced. So let's focus on that. How are you guys feeling about that schedule? Personally, I think there's no reason we can't go. I mean, I say this all the time. I feel like every January or February, I'm saying this. There's no reason we can't go 10-2, 11-1. This team is not perfect yet. There's a lot they got to work on. There's certain right on an hour and 25 minutes here. Going to your house for cafecito. My door's open to you, brother. 10-2, easy schedule, right? Yeah, it's an easy looking schedule, man. Let's go through them. So I'm going off of memory here. Bethune-Cookman, win. Southern Miss, win. I think those first two home games are both going to be sellouts. I'm calling it right now. Even the Bethune-Cookman game, I think it's going to be at least 60,000 in the stadium. For those who don't know, it's technically 64 capacity, I think, at Hard Rock. I was at the game against NC State that we barely got to 40,000 and it was loud. So imagine 60 plus thousand for the home opener. I think it's going to be at least that. So 2-0, we travel to A&M for our first road game. We're catching them early. That's a good thing. We got the better quarterback. That counts for a lot. Before I make my very early prediction on that game, I don't want to make a prediction until I know who the OC is. How about that? We need to split against Clemson or A&M. Agreed. I would love to see that. I think we split those two games, and maybe we slip up against like a Virginia or something. You know, it happens. But yeah, I think I'm going to give you the same prediction I give every year. I think my early prediction is going to be 10-2 again. 11-1 or 10-2. Let's ride or die, Canes fans. I think we could beat Clemson and Texas A&M. We absolutely could. I think Clemson more than A&M is very beatable. The Notre Dame players said it was the loudest stadium they have ever been in. I know that game was louder than like the loudest Orange Bowl games I had ever been to. Probably because, you know, the roof, the sound bounces off of it. But that was probably the loudest sporting event, loudest football game I've ever been to. Tough Low, you got the DC wrong. Yeah, so you got those two wins to start the season. You got A&M. I don't know if that's a win right now. I'm calling that a loss for right now. But let's see who the OC is. Let's see how the team progresses through spring. Let's aim low. Let's assume we lose that game. Next game is going to be Middle Tennessee, win. Then you got North Carolina. that better be a beatdown. That better be revenge for all the years that they've upset us. That better be revenge for that little smirk on Mac Brown's face at the end of last year's game. That was one of the few moments I felt bad for Manny Diaz. I really did. But that's revenge. That North Carolina game. It better be packed. It better be loud. That is a revenge game. Okay, so that's 4-1 right there. 4-1, and then I think we go to. Hold on, let me bring the schedule up. I went first 5 games from memory. That's not bad. Virginia Tech on the road. I think we win that game. Or if there's a trap game that maybe we slip up in, it could be that one. Come back home against Duke, win. On the road against Virginia, should be a win. Get a little revenge there. And the reason I think that is because we played one of our worst games of the season last year, and we still should have won that game. Then we got FSU at home, November 5th. Again, better be a butt whooping. And then you got the 2 road games back-to-back, Georgia Tech and Clemson. Georgia Tech should be a win. Clemson, we'll see. And then you come back home to that ever scrappy Pitt team. Because it's at home, I'll call that one a win for now. And I think that's pretty much it. That would be 2022. Another Coastal Division title, another 10-win season. Worst case 9-win season. I would love that. I'd be very okay with that. Our 2 toughest games, thankfully, are not in our division. One of them is not a conference game at all, and the other one's not in our division. So that helps us a lot. So that's my opinion on the schedule. I think we lose to Texas, FSU, Pitt, and Clemson. You think we lose 4? I hope not. I hope it's not anything less than 9-3. I think 9-3, you still win the Coastal. At 8-4, I don't think you win the Coastal. Oh, about hiring quarterbacks from the NFL. Oh yeah, no. I did kind of address that. Yeah, anytime you hire a coach from the NFL, especially at that position, I'm all for it. And in fact, that's probably the position I would be most excited about hiring a former NFL guy. So yeah, I'm very into that idea. Let's see. Steele is okay, but I would have liked Belk, younger coach, and had an amazing last year. Yeah, look, I agree. Belk was my number 1, but you're getting a very experienced, consistent guy. So that's what I'm happy about. We should be more physical than FSU. And we're going to be game plan. We're going to be prepared against FSU. It's not going to be the same like last year where it looked like we had no idea who we were playing against. Because that's what it looked like at Doak Campbell last year when we were playing them. We need to beat FSU badly. Agreed. FSU's always a 50. FSU's at home, though, Chris. Like, you think we lose? No, we don't lose that game. We are beating FSU at home. Is the linebacker Brewer? He need that wisdom. I love it. All right. I think we're going to end on that. Thanks, guys, for coming on. 345 in the chat. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you very much for coming on. Please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We will have a defensive playbook. Yes. It's man, we've really been through a lot, Cane fans. Yes, we will actually have a defensive playbook now. Oh, wow. Anyway, as always, it's all about the U. Very happy with the news today. Let's finish strong tomorrow. And I'm happy with the hire. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very happy with this hire. Go Canes. Have a good night, guys.